I'm glad to have you today. And we're going to get started. We are making the Three Little Kittens pasta pie. And I have the recipe right here to help me remember too, because this is only the second time that I'm making it. So I'm hoping that you'll have as much fun as I am trying this. So before we get started, actually mixing, I did preheat the oven to 400, and I also did boil my noodles ahead of time so that I could go with the preparing of this dish completely while we're together. All right, so I also have a 10 inch pie plate that I've already greased, but you can use a 9-inch square plate if you have that. All right, so let's get started here. I have my bowl, and before we add our noodles, which are cooked, let me show you them. I chose to use thin spaghetti, but you can actually choose any kind of noodle you want. And it takes 3/4 of a pound of noodles for this dish. And if you're wondering, how do I figure that out? Well, a box of spaghetti like this is a pound. And so what I did was I just took the noodles out of the box and split them in half, and then another half. So I had 3/4. That's a good math equation for you to try. And then I boiled them on the stove. I got my water boiling, and I added a little salt to it. And once it was boiling, then I added my spaghetti and I let it cook for 6 minutes. That directions is actually on your spaghetti boxes as well, so you can use that if you haven't made noodles before. I was thinking about it, you could probably use any kind of noodle if you prefer, like a bow tie or a thin, I like to use angel hair sometimes, but today I went with the thin spaghetti. Okay, so that is ready, and we're going to add that last. So what we want first is to get a bowl, and in the bowl we've got some things we want to add to it. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put our eggs in, and we need 4 eggs. So I'm going to go ahead and, this is going to be interesting doing this while you're watching me, that is. I went with brown eggs because we had chickens for many years, my husband and I, and so brown eggs are kind of fun. But if you have white eggs, that is fine as well. So we get all 4 of our eggs inside our bowl. I'm gonna rinse my hands really quick here. All right. And then it calls for 2 tablespoons of olive oil. So I have my olive oil here and my tablespoon. So that was 1 and 2. And then it calls for a little bit of salt. You can just add just a little bit if you want. And pepper. And this is actually a teaspoon and a half spoon, and so I don't have it all the way to the top, but it was a teaspoon. And the other thing, boys and girls, and those of you that are young at heart, I like garlic powder, and so I'm actually going to add a teaspoon of garlic powder because I like things just a little with a little more flavor in it. But that is totally up to you if you want to try the garlic powder. It is not on the recipe. And then we're going to put grated cheese. And again, grated cheese, it has a suggestion of a couple different grated cheeses. I chose this one because it's one of my favorite. It's a mixture that you can use in tacos or in any other kind of dishes. And so it's got two different kinds, but if you like romano, it suggests Parmesan and romano, and that is good as well. So you pick your cheese that you want and you put your cheese in there, and then I'm going to leave a little bit left in my jar here. It's actually a cup, just a little over a cup was what I had it filled up to. So I put in about a cup of cheese, and I'm going to leave just a little bit left for the very top after it's cooked. All right, and then we're just going to mix this up. It's a pretty fast meal. I know a lot of us like noodle meals. And what I did really enjoy about this dish is that you can add things to it. I actually made a smoked sausage on the side, and you could even add a little side of like a spaghetti sauce or something if you wanted to. Or you just eat it like this. It'll be a cheesy noodle. All right. So now I'm going to add my spaghetti, and we're going to add it into our mixture. After I boiled my spaghetti noodles, I used a strainer like this, and I rinsed it with cold water, and then I put it back in that pot there just to keep it warm. So we're going to just mix this up really nice. We don't want to mix too long because we don't want the noodles to fall apart. Alright, this looks pretty good. And then we're going to put it in our bowl. Scrape, make sure you get all the cheese and the seasonings in here. Now it has eggs in it, and so what happens is as it's cooking, it's going to thicken. And so we're going to put it in the oven. Remember, we've preheated our oven to 400, and so we're going to put it in the oven, and we're going to put it on the top rack, and we're going to cook it for 20 minutes. And because it has eggs in it, we want to make sure the eggs get done well. And so one of the ways you can do that is by putting a knife in it and making sure that all the eggs, your knife should come out and it shouldn't have any wet egg on it. It should be pretty firmed up. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in our oven, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like in a few minutes. All right. Well, I just took it out of the oven, and this is what it looks like. And I sprinkled a little bit of the cheese that we had left over on top of it. And before I cut it out, I thought I would spend a minute or two and just read the little nursery rhyme that went along with this the Three Little Kitten pasta pie dish. I thought it was cute. This is a really cute book. It has not only recipes, but some of the Mother Goose rhymes that go along with the dishes. So while I'm waiting for it just to set for a couple minutes here, I'll read this to you, okay? All right, some of you probably know it well, and maybe not. Maybe this is your first time hearing this nursery rhyme. It goes, 3 little kittens, they lost their mittens and they began to cry. Oh, mother dear, we sadly fear our mittens we have lost. We sadly fear our mittens we have lost. What? Lost your mittens, you naughty kittens? Then you shall have no pie. Meow, meow, meow. No, you shall have no pie. The 3 little kittens, well, guess what happened? They found their mittens, and they began to cry. Oh, mother dear, see here, see we have found our mittens. What? You found your mittens? You good little kittens, then you shall have some pie. Purr, purr, purr. Oh, thank you for the pie. I thought that was cute. I thought that was cute that they actually incorporated some of the nursery rhymes with some of these dishes. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what this looks like as we cut into it. One of the reasons I chose the pie plate is I like the fact that you could actually cut these into pie pieces. Now with a square, you would get square pieces, but with this, we're going to get, what do you think? Are we going to get round pieces, or are we going to get triangles? If you chose triangles, you were right. All right, let's see how well I cut this. I actually did let it cook for about an extra 3 minutes. I'm always concerned when I make items with eggs that they make sure that they are fully cooked. All right, so here we go. This is what it looks like when it's all done. And then if you wanted to, you could serve it with some sausage or just like it is. It's kind of a fancy macaroni and cheese almost, right? Well, I hope that when you make it at home, it tastes as good as it smells right now here. All right, boys and girls, I have a quick picture of the next item that we're going to be baking in a couple weeks. It's actually a strawberry cake right before Christmas, and I made it this weekend and it was very delicious. So I hope you enjoyed making our 3 little kitten pasta pie today, and maybe I'll see you again real soon.